I think it's going to be time to bring on our next magician and mathematician. So, Ayliean, are you there?
I hope so. Am I here?
And did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yeah, you got it. You absolutely nailed it. Well done.
Fantastic. Well, welcome to the show. It's wonderful to have you here, especially joining at 5 a.m. UK time. You're based in Scotland, is that right?
Welcome to the Scottish Highlands and Halloween at 5 in the morning. Ooh.
You have put a lot of effort into your Halloween scene. I've clearly done absolutely nothing to set up for Halloween, so I'm very impressed.
Oh, Australia is a wonderful place, though.
You?
Yes, I actually have 2 pie candles because, as we all know, what's better than 1 pie?
I thought there was a lot of Tau versus pie discussion earlier in the
it was probably me inciting that.
Yeah,
it's been a fantastic show so far.
As well.
Sorry?
Do I see some math craft behind you as well? Is that a cardioid?
Oh yeah, we've got a little curve stitching cardioid here. Yep, some Rubik's cubes. Oh, I can start my timer. Got a sound timer. Half an hour.
I've been watching your videos on YouTube for ages now, so it's amazing to get to meet you.
Really?
Your doodles and all the craft that you do is absolutely amazing, and I think it's so inspirational for those people that come to maths from maybe a different perspective. And so you're a maths teacher as well, are you?
Yes, I am a full-time maths teacher during a global pandemic. It's tough. So for all the maths teachers out there, I feel you. But I can't imagine a more important job in the world. I really love it so much. So it's scary. But I'm still happy to go into school, even though there's no social distancing in Scotland and full classes full time, because it's just so important to make sure that everyone gets that education. But yeah.
Well, on behalf of everybody in the UK and the world, well, thank you for your dedication. I think it's more important than ever to have people like you out there in the classrooms and working hard. So, all right. So, are you going to tell us about your trick for today?
Yes. Would you like to see a trick? Okay.
I would like to see a trick.
Right, I'm gonna have to try and make sure I keep this completely on camera so that you don't think there's any sort of actual jiggery pokery going on. Also, not to ruin the illusion straight away, but I'm definitely like business on top and still pajamas on bottom because it's 5 in the morning. So I have with me here a loop of fabric, as you can see. Are you satisfied that it's a perfectly normal loop of fabric?
I'm satisfied it's a loop of fabric. I'm not going to say that I think it's normal.
I did have to do a bit of sewing because, otherwise it wouldn't hold together. I am no seamstress, but we can just go through so you can go around, make sure that you're happy. There's nothing interesting going on all the way around. Back to the seam. There we go. A loop of fabric. Yes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is summon some Halloween energy into myself. I'm going to channel that energy, and hopefully with strength I will be able to
nervous on your behalf, like what's going to happen.
I should be able to tear down the halfway point in this loop of fabric. So I'm just going to go through and let me know if this drifts out of view and you're not happy with the way I'm performing this. So tearing all the way through, hopefully not veering too close to the edge, but I do have backups in case. So we're going all the way down.
It's that tearing noise of the fabric that fills me with dread somehow.
And you can think to yourself, what do you think would happen if I tear a loop of fabric in half? And I would love to see from the YouTube comments in 30 seconds time what you think is going to happen as I near the end of tearing this loop of fabric in half. Right, are you all ready? Everyone say some sort of magic words, like wherever you are in the world, what your magic words are, go for them. So 3, 2, 1, abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
And I have...
What dark magic is this?
Yes, I have 2 completely interlinked bands going on. So you can see there's no pulling them apart. They are absolutely interlinked, but they are also completely separate. So There we go. Wow.
So I think I was right in thinking that you did not have a normal loop to start with. There must have been some sort of magic going on there.
Okay, so it wasn't a completely flat loop, and I think that, do you know, I think I'm late to the party for this. Maybe I was out of the loop.
Very good, very good.
But no, I've recently got really, really into something called Mobius loops. So I've got some paper ones here as well, just so we can see. I used the fabric there because I think it makes it, it does hide what's going on a bit. So you can't actually see what's happening because you can pull the fabric tight. But you can see in the paper, it's not just a regular band or regular loop. There are some twists going on here. So this is just a normal Mobius loop, which has 1/2 twist in it, which I think most people will have seen before. And I don't know if that's what people in the YouTube comments were expecting me to have.
Not a lot of predictions happening in the YouTube. It could be that the moderators have deleted all of the spoilers.
Yes. Don't spoil it.
Yeah.
We got the
So are you going to teach us how to make a Mobius loop at home?
Yes, yeah, I totally can. So with the Mobius loop, do you know, that is an excellent thing, and I should have got a strip of paper ready at the time. I just I Blue Petered it. Oh yes, look at you, get in. Yeah, no, I Blue Petered it. Here's one I made earlier. So with a regular Mobius loop, what you would do is you join it round so it is in a band, and then you 1/2 twist one of the sides and affix it using an adhesive or sticky tape of your choice. Ooh, nice little sticky tape snail.
Came prepared. Okay, so where that join is, I'm going to put some sticky tape over the join. Okay, so is that looking the same as the loop that you've got there?
Yes, so now we've both got a Mobius loop going on here. So I don't know if they're called orders or anything like that, but this is 1/2 twist. The one that I was working with here was 2/2 twists, or AKA 1 full twist. So 1 full twist going on, which produces the result of having 2 interlinked bands when you flip it. So, my wonderful assistant will demonstrate
twist it
here.
And then twist it again. So I put two twists in there. Okay.
Yep. So when you split that in half, that will give you this. I think it's probably worth going through and just splitting a regular Mobius loop in half.
Yeah. I actually, of all the things I brought, I forgot to bring scissors, so I'm going to let you do that one.
I've got that, so I'll start it off with the scissors, and then I did prime it a wee bit, like fold it in half, so that I could try and rip it. Yeah, so again, let me know if I drift off camera with this. So we've got, I'm going to just make my way around, splitting it in half.
So this is a regular Mobius loop with 1 single 1/2 twist.
Yes. So again, you could, in your heads, so that the YouTube moderators don't have to have a flurry of action, in your heads, try and predict what will happen when I split this 1/2 twist Mobius loop right down the middle. Okay, moment of truth. Dun, dun, dun. And it's now split in half, but it produces just one band with, I believe, 2 full twists in it.
Somehow I feel like that's even more magical than the previous one, because you expect when you cut something in half, you should get 2 small copies of the original thing, and you've got 1 giant copy of the thing.
In a radioactive Halloween green. So, and it makes a kind of a big infinity symbol almost going on here. Yeah, so that's what happens when you've got 1 Mobius loop. But why would you stop at 1 Mobius loop? Similar to pi in this, that it's better to have 2. You could have 2 Mobius loops attached together in a wonderful radioactive Halloween green and a pumpkin orange. So this is 2 Mobius loops. They are not the same Mobius loop though. They're slightly different. So Mobius loops experience something called chirality, which is a kind of handedness. So your hands, although they are symmetrical, they do have a chirality issue. So if you've got gloves that have, say, like non-stick pads or whatever, no, extra sticky pads or something on there, the left hand glove would be back to front on the right hand. So handedness is to do with chirality. Fun chirality fact for you: chemical elements like chemical compounds, they have chiralities as well, and that affects their smell. So you can have two chemical compounds that have exactly the same atoms in them, in exactly the same arrangement, but because of a chirality issue, they'll smell completely different, which, I don't know, I think that's super cool.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool science fact in a math show.
Why not? They're always shoving maths facts into science shows, so.
Agreed.
Okay, so we have this kind of Frankenstein's monster, or Frankenklein's monster, if you will, of Mobius loops, and yeah, I think it's worth splitting this in half. So
what's happening at the join there? Are you able to show that closer to the camera?
Yeah, so it's perpendicular. So you've got the green one and then the orange one. And I kind of started it off earlier just so that it would be easier to show on screen. But it's just completely joined together perpendicularly. And we've got one left-handed Mobius loop and one right-handed Mobius loop. So I will go through the magic splitting process again. I actually think I'm getting quite good at this. Could maybe...
So maybe while you're talking, I'll just confirm what I understand about the chirality. So when I made the Mobius strip before, I gave it a little half twist to make the Mobius strip. And I think what you're saying is that I can either twist it that way, or I can choose to twist it that way. And I get two different Mobius loops each way. So if you're making them at home, you need one that goes to the left and one that twists to the right. Join them at right angles, so perpendicular, one on top of the other. And now Ayliean is tearing them in half like a monster. We're going to try and predict what's going to happen to this monstrosity when she's finished.
After this, I'm just going to go and run through the foggy Scottish moorlands, like under the full. We've got an amazing moon tonight as well. Just like the.
What time is the sun coming up at the moment?
Roughly about 7-ish. Yeah. So I've split it in half, and
okay.
Similar to before, we have two loops which are interlinked, but if I arrange them nicely, they might be a bit too big. We should have...
we get two hearts? Did I see two hearts?
Yes. If you use your imagination for these extra large things, you should get an interlinked heart here and a nice heart over here. So two interlinked heart shapes. That you can express your love for Halloween or your love for anything with.
For mathematics, obviously.
Yeah. So we got some nice interlinked hearts there. Yeah, so those are Mobius loops. Something I noticed earlier, so I have to say I did go for a cheeky 2-hour nap.
I don't think that's cheeky at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I know, I did a full day of teaching on Friday as well. So I got everything ready for the show, and then I went for my 2-hour nap, woke up, had a quick scroll of Twitter, because, you know, what you do first thing when you wake up, right? Healthy. And I saw that someone was on about an hour ago doing ambigrams, you know, like they're upside down, things that you can read upside down and the right way up. So I decided that I wanted to try and do something like Halloween-y with these Mobius loops, because Mobius loops are super cool and mathsy, and splitting them in half is awesome. Like, you've got all of these different results, but I'm a sucker for the theme, as you can see. And so I wanted to try and make a sort of Halloween story, or like a spooky. I got really addicted to 2-line horror stories, so I wanted to make a kind of 2-line horror story or something that I could put onto a Mobius loop. I ran into a few issues. One of them is that on a regular half twist Mobius loop, when you go round once, when you're on the it's only got one side, so I don't know, but do you know what I mean on the other side? When you're when you're on what feels like the other side, even though it is the same
being
side.
On this side, you're kind of on the other part of the paper.
the words when they meet together will flip upside down. So if you were like to go along the top edge and you went all the way around the boundary, you'd come out the bottom edge. So the words kind of flip over in a single loop. So I tried for a while. I was like, okay, I'll just have to make an entire story which can be read both upside down and the right way up. It was harder than I thought it would be.
Right, so you're writing a 2-line horror story on a Mobius strip that's also an ambigram. Am I getting that right?
I wanted to. I failed. I would love to see if someone could do that. As far as I got with that was I've got a sum which works as an ambigram on a Mobius loop. So you can see here 2 + 1 + 5 = 8. Yeah. I got the word yeah to read upside down and the right way up. So that one works. That was a kind of test run. And after I did that, I was like, no, I'm not. I don't have the capacity for this, unfortunately. But what I did find out through various testing, experimentation, if you will, was that if I put 3 twists in, then that issue would go away. So the writing could go all the way around the one side, through what seems like the inside, but is still just the one side, and then back out the other side, and it would join up like the correct way. So using a 3-twist Mobius loop, I have made a 2-line horror story, which is recursive and is about infinity in a creepy way, and also looks like a giant infinity sign.
Wow. Okay, now I'm seriously impressed.
Ooh, I don't know if it's just for me, but I think I can't hear you. So has my sound gone?
I can still hear you. I think everything is working.
Let me just quickly check the chat.
Just tried muting and unmuting again.
Which it will be, because it's always me with the tech issues.
I'm thinking it's yours. I'll just quickly check our behind the scenes. Yeah, so both of us are audible. So I think the audio issue is at your end, but we only need to hear you. You don't need to hear us. So you should go ahead and tell us your story.
Every single time I try and do something, I always get a tech issue. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I can't hear you at all. So you can sign language to me from the other side of the world, and I'll read you this story, okay? Right. Let me find the the irrelevant starting point. Okay. There we go. Is the writing the right way around for you? Cool. Yes. Okay. So my 2-line infinite horror story, recursively written on a 3-twist Mobius loop. Blood trickled down and dropped onto the pentagram on a page titled Infinitus Immortalitus. The librarian desperately thumbed through the spellbook for the chapter on unfinished business. They were struck by a paper cut. Blood trickled down and dropped onto the page, onto the pentagram on a page titled Infinitus Immortalitus. And I think you can see how this goes on. So that's my 2-line horror story, infinitely there. I would absolutely love to see other people's 2-line horror stories. Did we figure out what's going on with the sound?
I don't know. So apparently everyone can hear me okay. So it's you that can't hear me, but I think I'm okay. So
1 second. What I'll do is I've got headphones in. I'll see if I can take my headphones out and put a different set of headphones in, perhaps.
Yeah, it's a weird thing when someone can't hear
enjoy
you
spooky background
to talk
for
to them.
just one moment.
But they obviously can't hear what you're saying to know that you can't hear them. So, well, that's fantastic. So if anyone has their own 2-line horror stories, then please send them to us in the YouTube chat comments. And if we get some good ones, maybe we can read some of those out over the next few minutes. And I don't know if any of you at home have had any experience of playing with Mobius loops. They are one of my favorite mathematical shapes as well. And I mean, a great experiment that you can do, just, take yourself a strip of paper and see what happens if you make Mobius loops with different twists. So Ayliean has shown you what happens if there's 1 twist. She's shown you what happens if there's 2 twists. She's written this amazing horror story on a Mobius loop with 3 twists. So maybe you can have an experiment at home with, if you make a 3-twisted Mobius loop, if you tear that in half, what happens if you make a 4-loop Mobius strip and tear that in half, and see if you can spot the patterns in what's going on with those Mobius loops. They are a spooky and wonderful mathematical object that is well worth your time to play with. So just while we're waiting for Ayliean to come back, maybe I'll share with you the donate link for this live Maths and Magic show. So you are watching the Maths and Magic show. It's a 24-hour show, and we are doing this to raise money for charity in collaboration with Mark Watson's 24-hour live comedy show, which you can go and see at whatsonathon.com. So you can click that link at the top there to donate money to the charities that are being supported by this event. We're particularly trying to support people who are having a hard time due to COVID, have a low income and need a bit of emergency funding to get us through this. If you happen to be in Australia like I am, and maybe the donate links are not working in a different country, just donate to whatever local charity you feel is going to benefit from having a little bit of extra money at this point. All right, so
I am back.
Thanks very much. So Ayliean, yeah, you can hear me now. You figured it
out. Yes, I've returned. It's always the tech gremlins with me. I don't know what on earth I do that seems to attract terrible ghouls.
It's those pie candles in the background. It's just, we've got 2 of them. If you just had one of them, we'd be okay.
Oh no, don't start the Tau debate. I always I could go into that for too long. I make little badges for Team Taus.
That's pretty serious, right? I'm just a quiet pie supporter there, but I think I might be outnumbered in the online community in that.
If you ever see me on the street, do the special maths people handshake towards me, and I'll give you a badge. I've got other ones I got 0.9 problems, but it still ain't 1.
Very good.
What did I miss?
Very good.
Anything cool?
I was just explaining the purpose of our show today, that we're raising money for charities for people that have been disadvantaged by COVID. Is there anything else that you would like to plug or advertise now that we've got a few minutes at the end of your segment?
I mean, yes, I definitely will plug or advertise some things. You follow me on Twitter. I'm Ayliean for everything, Ayliean. I know that it's an absolute mess. I think that there was some sort of typing error when my birth certificate was being made, or I don't know, maybe someone just thought it would be fun to permutate all the vowels and see what happened. But before I do all of my plug things, I do want to show you, since we're talking about Mobius loops and all of the topological fun that goes along with Mobius loops, I have, so this is my treat thing, I have a cup which is shaped like a donut, or a mug shaped like a donut. And for any topologists out there in the audience, you'll know how hilarious this is. So there's a joke in topology where basically a coffee cup and a donut are the same thing because they both only have one hole. And in topology, you can kind of imagine everything as being made of dough or goo. And you can squish it, but you can't make any more holes, and you can't merge holes back together. together. But if you can squish it around, so you can imagine like the cup part being squished into the handle and becoming a donut, then they're topologically similar. So when I saw this cup here, I was like, that is hilarious. Like, I need to get that. And then I saw a few years later this cup here, which looks more like a donut.
That has a genuine hole through the middle.
It has a hole in it, as a donut would, but now ironically is no longer topologically similar to a donut, which I just think is fantastic. And here's one. I don't know if this counts. This isn't spoilers. I would love to see people guess how many holes are in this cup in the comments.
We might end up having quite a debate about what a hole is.
Oh, I know. I'm here for the whole of it. Yeah, so guess how many holes are in this cup right now?
All right, so we'll give the audience a few minutes to answer the question, and for the time delay, we're on a 30-second time delay between me reading the YouTube comments over here and us talking in the chat. So we've got lots of different opinions. Some people say 3, some people say 2, some people say none. 5, someone has just suggested 5. I'm interested to know where the 5 comes from. But we seem to have about a 50-50 split between either 2 holes or 3 holes from what I can tell right now. Someone is asking, is there a hole on the bottom? Can you show us the bottom of the cup?
Nope, just a regular base.
Okay, so no holes in the bottom of the cup.
Nope.
There's a bit of a debate about whether the handle is hollow or not.
Ah, interesting. I've taken some in-depth looks in there. I believe there's some indentations, but as far as I can tell, it doesn't go all the way through in the handle. I was concerned about that too, more from a cleaning standpoint.
So the handle is solid, so there's no extra hole inside the handle.
Nope. Doesn't seem to be.
Okay, so I think that resolves the main question that's being asked at the moment.
So I would posit, and yeah, feel free to at me, go for it. I think that this has 3 holes, and here's why. So I would count a hole as being if you could put say like a piece of rope or something through and dangle it. That gives you like a hole if you can dangle it off of there. So there's 1. We've got the handle. There's 2 in here. We've got the donut, the dough hole. And if I can actually get it to go around, if you could go in one side and out the other, you can.
It feels like you're doing dark magic off the camera there. Wait, what just happened?
So all I've done is I've threaded this piece of material through the back of the hole in here, which in turn makes its own hole around the donut area in here. So I think that there are 3 holes in this shape.
What a fantastic demonstration. I hadn't seen that done live before. Like you read lots of books that say, oh, a donut's got 2 holes or things like that, but I've never seen that actually physically demonstrated. That's fantastic.
And then in my last 2 minutes, in terms of plugs, what I'll plug is I make tiny little math zines, if that shows up. So here's one which is actually about donuts, which, I mean, it's called Donuts, and it's about like various different knot theory type things with donuts. And so we've got things here. Yeah, that was really hard to draw. That's like a trefoil knot with a donut. We've got Doromian rings, 3 donuts interlinked, and a Dobius loop, a donut that is also a Mobius loop. So yeah, I make tiny little math zines. You'd get the best of me on Twitter. I put most stuff out on Twitter, so Ayliean if you'd like to follow me. I try and keep my YouTube channel also updated. Longer things go there. And if you're looking to get the zines, there's an Ayliean.com, which you can check out. And I try and keep everything as free as possible because I love maths and I want everyone to have it. So, yep, enjoy. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Ayliean. It's been a great pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for all of your tricks and also that treat. And I love the name Donuts. That I wish I thought of that. That's fantastic. So I'm gonna have to go and check that out once I'm done presenting here. So thank you so much. I hope you get to go and have another little nap before your day begins.
Yeah, I'm doing tech stuff. So Chris Smith, another Scottish person, is coming on later on, and so I'll be doing the behind the scenes for the next few hours, and hanging around in the YouTube comments. But yeah, oh, and then at like 2:30 in the afternoon, I'm going to dress up as Gandalf and jump off a bridge and do like a bungee jump. I'm going to do the whole like, fly, you fools, and then bungee jump backwards. So I'll take a brief bungee jump break, and then I'll get back to watching this because it's going to be such a good live stream all day.
You have the most amazing life.
It's been so nice to meet you, and thanks to everyone for watching, and I will now gracefully mute my video and my microphone.
Thank you so much, Ayliean. Been fantastic to have you on.